Hi, I'm Chris Mullin of the Golden State Warriors. Coming up next, one-on-one.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the fastest half hour in television. One-on-one is coming at you. You know who my guest is. All-Pro guard forward Chris Mullin of the Golden State Warriors. And we'll come back right after this.
Is this Kid O'Neal for real? Or is it a different game he plays? Find out for yourself in this exclusive new video, Shaquille O'Neal. Larger life. It's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Your free video takes you back in time and behind the scenes with the young superstar. Can he have his fun and still be the best? Go for a spin with Shaq and find the answers. Free from SI. Call now and you'll also get an authentic Shaq basketball, the ultimate playground ball. Plus, get 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now and get your video and Shaq ball both free from SI. There's only one Shaq, and there's nothing in the world like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
What's the matter, son?
I'm kind of worried about a package I sent out for Mr. Jones.
Cup of coffee? Well, sending out that package is a big responsibility. Jones knows you'll come through. Hard work, faith, trust in each other. That's what it's all about. Besides, in over 20 years, FedEx has never let me down.
What if I didn't use FedEx?
Well, then, you're dead.
Next time, use FedEx.
Hit the lights on your way out.
Where in the world would you go if there were no Las Vegas? What other place will you ever find where you can spend the entire day teeing off, stepping out, or just winding down? And all night really living it up? Only in Las Vegas.
Welcome back, everybody. The fastest half hour in television, and we're visiting with All-Pro forward guard and longtime interviewee Chris Mullin of the Golden State Warriors. How you doing, big fella?
Very good, and yourself?
Stay healthy, my friend.
That's been the biggest problem of mine in the last 3 years.
I would imagine that that is probably going to be your decision when you decide one day to hang it up, is the injury situation.
Well, right now, the injuries that I've incurred have not real serious. They've been time-consuming, and they've made me to miss a lot of games, but I don't think there's anything that's going to force me right now anyway to make that decision.
I think the thing that they meant most to you is just frustration because you want to play.
No question. I mean, any athlete does. I mean, you don't get to this point in your career by not practicing and missing games and missing time. But on the other hand, it's a part of sports. You know, when it does happen, you have to make sure you take care of it. So when you do get back, you know, it doesn't linger on and affect you longer than it should.
But the one thing that I noticed about you, which goes back to when we first chatted during your rookie season, when I had you on the show, is the fact that you throw all the stats and things out the window. You're concerned with playing. You don't care about the stats. And after the season, you might take a look at those, but not during the season.
Well, again, I mean, it's something I've done all my life. It brings great joy to me. I enjoy doing it. So when I'm not doing it, I'm not a very happy person. So the main thing is to get back on the court. And I think when you come off an injury, there's going to be a time when you struggle. You know, it's just much like coming into preseason. You're not going to be as sharp as you want to be, but you look at the bigger picture and say, hey, you know, come the playoffs, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be playing my best, which kind of happened to me last year. So as soon as you're healthy enough to get on the floor, you get going and you work your way back. You progress to that point.
Last time we chatted, you were single. Now you're a family man. How much different has that meant to Chris Mullin, the basketball player, now that you've got that added responsibility in your life?
I think basketball-wise, it hasn't really changed much. Sleep-wise, it's changed. I don't get as much sleep. But yeah, my wife and I have 2 children, 2 little boys, and they're very active, and they like to be, you know, around us as much as they can. So, you know, when I'm home, they want to be with me. You know, and plus, you know, with our schedule, we are gone a lot. So, you know, when I'm home, my time is not mine anymore, where in the past, you know, I could get home, take a nap, you know, maybe work out on my own. But now, when I'm in the house, you know, my time is kind of the kids' time.
Let me ask you something. Even though it's kids' time, do you push them into basketball?
Not really. You know, they're still very young, 2.5 and 1. So, but I'll say one thing: they are any type of ball they want. That's if you put 100 toys on the floor, ranging from cars to whatever you have, they're going to go for the ball. So I don't know if that's just inbred in them or what.
But as they get older, you're going to let that be their decision?
Oh, no question. Yeah, if they enjoy it, that's great. If they're into something else, that's fine too. You know, I'm just going to try and enjoy it with them.
I don't imagine Chris Mullin, and just watching your demeanor, I don't see you as a guy who takes a loss home with him. Do you?
I try not to. I really don't, especially now. I think that's another one of my big responsibilities is leaving that part in the locker room. Maybe take an extra half hour in the training room if that's what it takes to come home, because it's not fair to the kids or my wife, really, to come home if I happen to have a bad game or we have a bad loss and let that carry over. When I get home, I need to be fresh and happy for them. You know, that's my responsibility.
I would think also that sometimes when you're injured and you're around the house more because you're not playing because of the injury, you probably become a pain in the neck to your wife. She wants you to get out there.
Yeah, I think I have a shorter fuse because I'm not able to go out there and not only burn energy, but get them frustrations out. You know, even if you don't play a good game, at least you're part of something. And as an athlete, when you're injured, you just don't feel like you're contributing, you don't feel like you're part of anything. And that does, you know, that's one thing that does carry over into my feelings in everyday life. You know, you're just always waiting for that day when you're going to get back in there. And until then, it affects you, it really does.
You know, a compliment to you, I would think, is the fact that I know that your St. John's coach, Lou Carnesecca, when he was coaching, I know that he always thought of you as a coach on the floor because of your knowing the game and being a student of the game. Don Nelson says that same thing. That's got to be a compliment to you that your coaches believe that here's my coach on the floor.
Well, I do take it as a compliment, but the reason, if that is true, the reason being because I was coached by these great coaches and I listened. At a very young age, I was coached, taught to play the game the right way in Brooklyn, St. Thomas Aquinas, by some great coaches. Through high school, the same thing, and I had Coach Carnesecca, who's one of the all-time best teachers and coaches and people. Don Nelson, same goes for him. So I played for Bobby Knight in the '84 Olympics. I played for Chuck Daly. These are some great, great coaches. All I had to do was listen and absorb, and I tried to do the best I could and learn from them and understand their philosophies and their techniques.
I'm listening to a guy who I'm admiring just listening to you because you're telling me, in essence, and the people watching this show, that even though there's contract negotiations and you want to be paid, that you're not playing for the money. You're playing for the love of the game.
Yeah, I definitely am. You know, the money is something that comes with it and it's great, but if you don't put everything else before that, you're not going to get to that point. You know, this is a game I started playing when I was in 4th grade. And pretty much like it or love it just as much now. You know, when it comes summertime, you know, I have just as much fun playing with my brothers in the backyard as I do, you know, lacing up against the Sixers or the Sonics or whoever it may be. You know, and when I'm done, I'm sure I'm going to still be playing for fun.
Are you very intense with them as well as...
Probably more, because they really go at me. And they play with me so much. They probably stop me better than anybody else. They know where I have the ball. They're always smacking the ball in my hands, and they know what gets me mad. So them games become very intense.
You don't allow yourself to get too far out of shape, because once you told me as a rookie, says I got to stay on my P's and Q's, and I got to report to camp in October ready.
Well, that comes from experience. You know, I've been through camps where I was out of shape. And not only is it no fun, it's no good for you, it's unprofessional. You know, your job, you know, I look at the NBA as, you know, as a 12-month job. You know, when the season's over, it does not mean your job ends. And you can take your time off, but you are obligated to take care of yourself and be ready come October. And in the off season, I set up a whole program of when I'm going to take some time off, but I'm always getting back to schedule. You know, I have that date circle when training camp opens. I'm going to be ready to go full blast when that date comes.
This is one of the interviews where I can't wait until the commercial break is over so I can come back at Chris Mullin. I'll be back in just a moment. You stay right there.
This is you. This is the commercial you see. This is the number you call. This is the operator you talk to. This is the stuff that arrives. This is the number you call. This is the box that comes. This is the machine you get. This is the number you call. These are the exercises you do. This is the number you call. This is how long it takes. This is how many times a week you do it. This is the number you call. This is how your dog looks at you. This is how your pants fit. This is the number you call. This is how you'll feel when you're done. This is the number you call. The SoloFlex Muscle Machine, just $39 a month. Call now for a free brochure and video. This is the number you call.
Filtered Miller Genuine Draft, the cold one. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste,
you know, I've been looking for that.
The world is a very cool place. So get out of the old and get into the cold.
Introducing Continental's Bake Sale with great low fares to destinations throughout the Caribbean, Mexico, and Florida.
Peter Barnes can't wait to shake his cold. Pills take time to dissolve, so he'll rush relief with the effervescent power of Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. It's ready the moment you take it, rushing powerful medicines to soothe your aches, relieve your runny nose, free your breathing. Nothing rushes relief like Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Welcome back, everybody, to Fastest Half Hour on Television. Let's get right back into Chris Mullin. What type of a player do you consider yourself? I know that when I talked to you as a rookie, as a freshman in this league, you indicated that you just like to shoot the ball. But you've gained a lot more perspective in this game since then.
Well, I think, again, when Nelly came and took over, he not only emphasized it, but made me become a complete player, you know, and I thank him for that. It's made the game more enjoyable and made me more successful. But I think shooting has been my forte, the thing that opened up everything else for me. I've always been a pretty good passer, but when I learned how to play with my teammates, work off screens, and not really do things for myself. You know, scoring points is good and it's part of the game. But when you get everybody involved, you know, and do the little things, I think that's when you become a complete player.
Did you get burned out the year that you played for the Dream Team?
I don't think I was drained out so much mentally, but physically, I don't think it was demands. It was just that you just went right into a regimen of practice and training camp and all that. Soon after that was when I started getting injured. I don't know if that has any correlation, but you know, soon after that I had my thumb injury towards the end of that season. Then I had my pinky and then I had my leg. So I don't think it has anything to do with it, but I think if you look back, maybe it does. I don't know. I'd like to think not, because I don't think, and if it did, you know what, I wouldn't trade it in anyway, because that was one of the greatest times I had being around them players and the coaches and families of them players. So if I had to trade in that summer for these injuries, I wouldn't do it.
If we were to look back and canvass all the players in the NBA, especially the players that played on the Dream Team, I got a feeling that a vote would go for you from every one of them as a guy that we liked and enjoyed playing with. You seem to, I guess, exude admiration from your teammates, from your colleagues.
Well, if that's true, that's fine, but I admire the people I play with, and I need them. You know, you asked me before as far as how my game consists. I rely and big time on my teammates to get me open, you know, to hit me with the pass when I am open, you know, to help me on defense. So when you rely on your teammates, you also have to admire them and respect them, and I always have. Every level I've been on, you know, whether it be the guy that's starting next to me or the guy who's coming in for me, you know, I admire him, I respect him, and we're working together. It's much like being in an office where the guy next to you on your desk, if your phone rings, you're going to answer that for me. You got to help me out, you know. And I've always relied on my teammates, and they need to help me, and if I can do that for them, that's the way it goes.
I'll tell you one thing. California has not taken New York out of you at all. I was telling Coach Fratello that same thing. I said, Coach, Cleveland has taken nothing away from you. You're still Mike Fratello, and you are still Chris Mullin, born in Brooklyn.
Born and raised, and always will be. You know, that's my upbringing back in New York is something I'm proud of, and I wouldn't change anything about it. It was just a great time, and I think not only did I learn a lot of basketball and get to play against great competition, I got great friends and family and people that made me. You know, I mean, that's where it all started back then, and I'm forever grateful.
What do you like most about your game now? Is it the fact that you've gained some more respect playing defense, a little bit of defense?
Well, I think, you know, these injuries have been hard for me to handle because I've always been one that liked to be consistent, play a lot of games, and be out there no matter what. But when you get, you know, these injuries, it's hard to do that. But I think even when I do, like I just played 2 games this season, but the 2 I came in, I think, you know, I want to be part of a team. You know, I don't want to come out there and dominate the ball. I don't need to be the high scorer at this point in my career. I just want to help the team get better, help the younger players, and help the team win.
Is your defense, are you happy with your defensive play?
I got to be at this point. I mean, the players these days are so good, and our game is more of it's almost gone to a one-on-one isolation game where you're not going to stop anybody one-on-one. So it gets back to when you have a great coach like Nelly, understanding his philosophy on defense and that night's scouting report, how we're going to double team, who we're doubling with. And then it comes down to being a student and being a good listener and following out the directions that the coach is giving.
When you're having a hot night, and that's most nights, that basket, that rim must look like a big puddle, a big pond.
Well, it's always amazing to me how, you know, you can go through maybe seasons where it's looking good. The basket's looking big and everything's feeling good. But then for some reason, that thing looks small sometimes. And, you know, you try and minimize the nights that you go out there and the thing looks that small. And that, to me, that's always been through practice. The more you practice and the more you repeat, you know, and get out there and hammer away, you know, that's when it's so satisfying to have them nights when the basket looks that big. That's when you've earned it.
I know that when you were a rookie, you couldn't wait to get out there. Are there days now, as a veteran of many years as you are, that sometimes you just don't feel it initially and you need that extra motivation?
The only time I feel like that is when I'm injured. You know, when I just know that you know, my head's going to tell me to do something, but for whether my leg or my ankle, whatever it may be, it's not going to be there. And it becomes frustrating because you know you can do it and your head's telling you to do it, but it's just not there. Other than that, you know, when I'm healthy, there's probably nothing else I'd rather do when I get up.
So basketball, its own, is your motivation.
Yeah, I think, again, these last 3 seasons I've missed so many games that I'm back. You know, I'm maybe, you know, this is my 10th year. I'm more like maybe my 7th year because to me I've missed a lot of precious time and I want to get back.
What's been the inspiration for you getting into this game? Was it your dad years ago?
I think, you know, as a kid growing up, I played basketball, baseball, and I was a swimmer as well. And the other 2 eliminated themselves because I just didn't like them as much. Basketball was something that I was drawn to. I enjoyed practicing by myself. Baseball, you know, if you didn't have a few other guys, you weren't going to play. It's hard to pitch and bat.
You just said something because when you had your ankle injury and also with your thumb, it didn't prohibit you from getting out there and shooting 100, 200 buckets a day.
Basketball is something you can never make an excuse. You can always do something by yourself to get better. And that was intriguing to me, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed just picking up a ball and going to a basket, maybe one day hitting 6 out of 10, but then the next day I was able to make 7 out of 10. And the next day after that, 8 out of 10. And then you see the improvement right in front of your face.
I got a feeling that shooting that 3-point shot to you is one of your favorite shots.
Yeah, I like the new distance. I know Reggie Miller said he didn't like it, but anything that makes it easy, I'm for. You know, if it makes it easier for everybody, it's going to make it easier for me. But yeah, I think there's nothing nicer than, you know, getting an open three-point shot. And maybe sometimes you don't get it open as much as you'd like, but you know, anything to help your team out. And usually a three-point can be just as big as like a nice slam dunk. It can be a good momentum changer.
We're going to come back and spend some time with Chris Mullin talking about 6 seconds left in the game and whether or not he liked that basketball. Apparently, he does. We'll come back and talk about it right after this. Welcome back, and we got to get right back over here to my partner, Chris Mullin. Got to ask you, does anybody in this league intimidate you?
No. I think I respect almost every player that I play against, and I think that's a good way to be, because you don't leave yourself open, you know, for underestimating. And I don't underestimate anybody. If anything, I overestimate them, but not to the point of being intimidated. You know, I respect them, and I respect everyone's talents. If you get to this point, you're a good player, and you're a hard worker. But intimidated, no.
So in other words, you don't have anybody out there who has probably guarded you better than anybody else, or have you?
Oh, there have been guys who give me fits, and still do. But, you know, I still feel that on a given night, I'm going to give them fits also. So I think it's a mutual admiration or respect. And then some nights, someone's going to get the best of me, but another night I might get them back.
Chris, when you're going well, I put this in perspective now, because only you can bring it out of how you feel. But when you step to that corner and you square your shoulders and you're eyeing that basketball, what kind of feeling goes through your mind? Is that, and you hit that shot,
Well,
must be elation.
When you're in good rhythm, you could be 2 feet from the hoop or 30 feet from the hoop. It just feels like your knees are bending the right time, the wrist is flicking, and it's just going to go. And it's also strange the way that seems when you got everything going, for some reason you're getting open that night. And then other nights when you just don't feel right, even when you get a good look, someone gets to your shot. You know, it's funny how sports go. When everything's going well, that's the way it is. And when things go tough, you know, that's when injuries come, and that's when losses come. It just goes in streaks. Right now we're going through one of them bad streaks around here. But I also learned if you hang in there long enough, them streaks will turn the other way. And that's why you hang in there, and that's why you work hard. So when it does turn, you know, you appreciate it even more.
Tim Hardaway knows where you want to be on the court, doesn't he?
Yeah, me and Tim played a lot together. We have a feeling for where each other likes to be, where each other's gonna be, maybe on and off the floor. But yeah, he's a great guy to play with, and I really enjoy being around him.
You're having fun, aren't you?
Yeah,
when you're playing.
Yeah, I tell you what. I mean, even these last 3 seasons have been injury-filled, and we've had some tough times around here. I consider myself very fortunate. You know, you can think of the worst scenario or worst situation in the NBA, and it's still a great situation. Even if you're on the worst team, you know, hey, when you get up, you come into a gym to play basketball.
And you're getting paid.
And you're getting paid pretty well. So don't feel sorry for none of these players, because it's a good life.
That's a good feeling. You ought to be the Chamber of Commerce for basketball, because a lot of them should be listening to you.
No, I just really do. I mean, I've felt that way 10 years ago, and I feel that way now. It's a privilege to be part of the NBA and to be part of the Golden State Warriors. It's not the Warriors' privilege to have me. It's my privilege to be part of them.
Well, I know one thing for sure. You came out of St. John's University feeling that you were a darn good basketball player, and that this league was going to be easy for you. Did it turn out to be as easy as you thought it would be?
It hasn't been easy. It's been very rewarding, and it's made me work hard, and it's given me a good sense of accomplishment. And also, I respect the league. I really do, because if you don't do your work, and if you are not prepared, it's going to show. So, and then on the other hand, if you do, it'll reap you benefits, and it'll show.
Do you spend any time thinking about the end of the road when Chris Mullin won't be able to do this anymore, or you just enjoy the days?
I try and just enjoy the days, but I do think about that as well. I'll wait and see when that time comes. You know, this is my 10th year, and you know, again, I've had some nagging injuries and some injuries that cost me some gains, but I haven't had anything that's going to really stay with me long term as of now. So I'll just wait and see how I feel physically and evaluate it when the time comes.
You ever want to coach?
At some level. At some level, yes.
Which could be high school.
Or maybe lower. I love being around kids, and I just love seeing kids doing things that they didn't think they could do, and then when they do it, get that gleam in their eyes, and then it's nice. I do a lot of camps, and you always see kids, I can't do that, and then when you say you can do it and teach them how to do it, and that's a great feeling. So I'll be involved somewhere, probably not at a high level, though.
What's the funniest thing that ever happened to you? You remember? You recall?
Well, when I was younger, I laid the ball in the wrong basket.
Oh, so you ran with the ball the wrong way?
Off a jump ball, yeah. I was wondering why I was so open. That was the easiest shot I ever had.
Nobody ever hollered at you and told you, Chris?
They were, I couldn't hear him. I was too open. I said, what, are you kidding me? I'm taking this easy layup.
Okay, we have had some fun as usual. Chris, thank you for visiting with us.
Good to see you again.
Chris Mullin, all-pro guard forward. You take your pick of the Golden State Warriors. We'll be back with you again next week. Eddie Alexander saying.